What does it profit a man to gain wealth, but lose his soul? What does it mean when success is written across your business card, but emptiness echoes in your home? Before you go further into this story, I want to challenge you. Think about your own life. Think about the things you've chased, the sacrifices you've made. Ask yourself this: if you had everything money could buy, would you still be fulfilled? This is the story of Marcus Johnson, a wealthy father from Atlanta. It is a story of struggle, of kindness, and of victory. It is a parable of our times. And I want you to stay until the end, because I believe it will change how you look at your own life. If you are new here, subscribe to Echoes and Struggles. These are the stories of real lives, of trials and triumphs, told to wake us up, to stir us, to remind us of what matters most. Marcus Johnson was 62 years old. His name was known across Atlanta. He built towers of glass and steel, owned blocks of real estate, and ran one of the most respected construction firms in the Southeast. His suits were tailored from Italian cloth. His cars, polished, gleaming, symbols of success, filled his driveway. On paper, Marcus had everything. But inside his mansion, silence ruled. His wife, Gloria, slept in another wing of the house. They rarely shared meals. Conversations, when they happened, were clipped and formal, as if two strangers lived under the same roof. His two children, Alicia and David, were grown and successful in their own right. But their voices on the phone carried distance, politeness without warmth. Calls lasted minutes. And when Marcus invited them over, they often had other plans. The deepest cut of all? His grandson, Elijah, a boy of 6. Elijah rarely wanted to visit. The mansion felt cold to him. Marcus noticed how the child clung to his mother's leg when he entered the house, how his eyes darted around nervously as if afraid to touch anything. Marcus, who could buy the world, could not buy the laughter of his own grandson. Behind his office desk, Marcus would stare at the skyline he helped shape, and the thought would come uninvited: why does it feel so empty? The truth was simple. Marcus had traded relationships for ambition. He had built towers, but broken bridges. Pride had driven him, and pride had distanced him from those he loved. The wake-up call came on a hot July afternoon. Marcus had stopped by one of his own construction sites on the west side of the city. Dressed down in plain slacks and a polo, he walked the site without the armor of a suit. The summer sun pressed down. The air felt heavy. He bent to inspect a beam, and suddenly the world spun. Marcus, the man who commanded boardrooms, fell to his knees in front of his workers. Sweat ran down his face. His vision blurred. For the first time in decades, he felt weak. A janitor, a man whose name Marcus had never bothered to learn, rushed to his side. "Sir, you need to sit," the man said, handing him a cold bottle of water. Marcus looked into the man's eyes. Kindness stared back. Not pity, not judgment, just kindness. And in that moment, Marcus felt smaller than he had ever felt before. The richest man on the block, humbled by the care of a worker who earned in a week what Marcus spent on a single dinner. That moment cracked the armor he had worn for years. Pause here. Think about your own life. Has there ever been a moment where someone's kindness pierced your pride? A moment where you realized money, status, or pride couldn't protect you? Comment below. Share that moment. Because Marcus's story turns here, and maybe yours will too. After that day, Marcus changed. Slowly at first. He began talking to his workers, not with commands, but with questions. He asked about their families, their struggles. He started remembering names. He picked up the phone to call his daughter Alicia. For the first time in years, he didn't talk about business. He asked her how she was. She hesitated at first, suspicious. But then she answered. That call lasted longer than usual. He tried the same with his son David. The conversations were awkward at first. But Marcus persisted. He had learned persistence in business. Now he applied it to love. The hardest step came at home. One evening, Marcus walked into the other wing of the house. Gloria was sitting with a book, the lamplight falling softly on her face. He stood awkwardly in the doorway. "Gloria," he said, voice trembling, "I'm sorry. For the years I made you feel unseen." At first she did not respond. But Marcus didn't retreat. Night after night, he came back. Small conversations. Small apologies. Small steps. And slowly, The ice began to thaw. What started with one act of kindness, a janitor offering water, multiplied. Marcus began volunteering anonymously at a local shelter. He donated, yes, but more than that, he showed up. He served meals. He listened to stories. The man who once walked past janitors without noticing now sat beside strangers, hearing about their lives, their struggles. And each story reminded him of something he had forgotten. We are all human. One Saturday morning, his grandson Elijah ran into his arms, hugging his legs tight. Marcus looked down, stunned. The boy's laughter rang out like music. No check could buy that sound. In that moment, Marcus understood. True wealth was not the towers he built, but the bridges he repaired. This is the heart of Marcus Johnson's story. He had wealth, but faced struggles money could never fix. What saved him was kindness. Kindness received, and kindness given. Now I ask you, in your life, are you building towers, or are you building bridges? Are you investing in things that will last, or in relationships that give life meaning? Comment your answer below. I want to hear your voice. And if Marcus's journey moved you, subscribe to Echoes and Struggles. Because stories like this remind us, the richest life is lived not in money, but in kindness.